Hey everybody, I briefly want to speak about how I experience myself after narcissistic abuse. I have removed myself 3 years ago from the narcissistic psychopathic family cult, but I am forced to stay in contact because my children are still exposed to the shared fantasy and are suffering from this. I have official proof about this. So I'm not delusional. Um, and I want to speak today how I experienced it and what my details are in, there is details that are different to the normal case you would speak of. So definitely narcissism is contagious. There is a contagious part, meaning it's a very unhygienic disease, and it can contaminate people with the filth, it's like the filthiness and the poison, the negativity. Professor Sam Wagner would say the empty schizoid core, the black hole within the narcissist, distorts reality and radiates, and this is unhealthy for people around the narcissist because the narcissist internalizes people as objects and acts based on this delusional fantasy exclusively, meaning you have no chance to interact with a human being or being seen as a human being. Therefore, your reality testing gets questioned and your identity gets undermined. So I feel changed through that. I will never be the same again. It's like, the innocence is gone. The innocent grandiosity of a child of an immature archetype that explores the world with the assumption that everything will be good if you only do good, something like that, is gone forever. And there is more awareness about everything. It's like when you shoot with a bow, is a complex movement with many, you can see it as one flow, or you can cut it into different phases and stations that you go to and different things to focus on. And when in myself that I was before I met the narcissist and the psychopath, I would always hit very well with the goals with the arrows that I shoot, and I would absolutely be unaware how I do it. But now I have to be very aware about what I do and why I do it. So I monitor myself, and also my sense of self has been threatened and questioned through the emanations of this shared fantasy as well. I mentioned, and I agree with Professor Sam Wagner, that narcissism and psychopathy and the traits associated with that are arriving in society at this day and age as benevolent adaptions and are supported, promoted, and desirable, even from official places. They are covered up under disguise of feminism, wokeness, victimhood movements that rise to power. All victimhood, every catastrophe in human history has started with a victimhood movement. Nazi Germany. And it's often a minority that gets oppressed and then creates a victimhood movement, and when the wrong people rise to power, they reverse the dynamic but over-exaggerate like narcissists and psychopaths would do, detached from all moral norms due to a negative self-esteem or the absence of a identity core and a moral core. In this context, I want to say that Sam Wagner gave me a very interesting concept that love creates memories, loving experiences, whether loving yourself, doing something that is born out of love and gives love to yourself, doing something with love, like baking pizza with making the dough all by your hand with the sunlight, letting it rise, do it very lovingly, and then you share this with your family. This creates memories because it's a loving experience. Or you read, or you invent stories for your children to tell them as lullabies. This creates memories because it's a loving experience that is anchored in the brain and conserved. And this forms identity. So memories connected to love are identity. Therefore, if you live without love, like a narcissist or a psychopath, you can't create real memories and you can't build up an identity. That's why photos and pictures are so important. To upload, to share, these create false sense of memories. And this is why they always are almost there. It's like they have it all before them, but they can't. It's like having it in a glass, it's bottled. The world is occult for the narcissist and the psychopath. It's not, it's not accessible. Emotions, love, world, other people, anyway. So I experience myself changed. Since then. And there is my rational self that tells all the things that I just said. The narcissists can never heal, the psychopath is lost. They live just as a facade, and they thrive on filthy scavenging, like nutrition, like sadistic supply, and delusional fantasies. And they need a specially molded environment to thrive, and so on and so on. But I am pushed to individuation, and I have learned very many important things, and I even don't want to go back to my old self, yet still there is this feeling of as if there is this contagious feeling. Also, I have to say, it's true that the narcissist infantilizes, and I feel it through the infantile reactions that I have when they indulge and thrive in their sadistic joy of doing sadistic things, meaning hurting other people mentally, and then smiling at you or presenting this as an act of a savior and something like that. This creates in me a reaction that is also narcissistic. I just, it feels like you want to rebel, like a child that wants to rebel against the worst in the world. All right? And I feel the same, by the way, with psychopath. Psychopath does not feel so pervasive, invasive, and dirty, unhygienic like the narcissist. Is easier to deal with because it's simply goal-oriented and cold, emotionally detached. So what? It's easier to mirror that. It's not so infantile. It's not that frustrated child that you simply lets you have the same reaction as their parents had towards them when they wanted to get this negative attention because they did not get unconditional love. In the case of the narcissist, I think, when you give them unconditional love, this actually activates their malicious envy. They then want to test the unconditionality of your unconditional love. And when you then withdraw it, it feels like for them that they almost had gotten that what they never ever had. And but they then have to fulfill this prediction, that self-prophecy that they don't deserve this and can never get it and will be the victim in the end. But because of that, they are now enabled, able, and legitimized to do whatever is necessary to this evil parent that withdraws that conditional love that they're chasing but never reaching. So I feel the contagiousness of this. I feel the negativity when you want to mirror this back, because treating a narcissist like a human with your human reflexes, with your empathy, also leads nowhere. It leads to parasitized empathy. So it's really hard. That's why they say no contact. That's why they say no contact, because treating them as a human, from human to human, is actually irrational. It's not human to human. It's human to absence, to parasite. And treating them the same way is also not the best option, but better, in my opinion, than the first option. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's just something. Yeah, but I feel this contagiousness. And what I also feel is that there is an ambiguity about my sense of safety. At some point, my safety is much stronger, because I learn to be aware about everything, my whole nervous system and reactions. And I learn to influence these through different practices. But at the same time, the reason for this was because it got this innocent and childish feeling of innocence and safety is gone, and I don't want it back, because it was also unhygienic in a sense. Like, a child tries everything, smiles to everyone, thinks everybody is a good person, and that is unhygienic. So this sense of safety I got rid of it, or it was destroyed. I lost it. I will not get it back. I don't want it back. But I have another sense of self that I still have to try out. And I also have to rewire my nervous system, because the amygdala was already programmed when I'm in this unsafe environment of gaslighting, narcissistic psychopathic abuse. It will fire. When the trigger is hit, it fires. And today, even when I'm in safety, when I'm with myself, I can guard myself, I can, in theory, in rational theory, I can do all of this. But if the amygdala is triggered, it fires. So what I have to do is rewire it. You can do this by getting these awareness practices that really calm you down. And when you have reached the level of being able to have a low heart rate, sleep very well, sleep deep, get the recovery you need, then you can start to expose yourself to your own memories of narcissistic abuse while you are in a very aware state, and calming yourself in order to desensitize yourself, to be able to take this trigger and teach your nervous system to not react to it anymore. The amygdala, this red button, you teach it to not fire if the narcissistic, delusional, sadistic fantasy, the covert messages hit you, or the psychopath, arrogant, grandiose, bold, deflecting, hypermasculine behavior, toxic masculine behavior, dominant behavior, delusional behavior, triggers you, so that you can get to the point of indifference about it. So that being said, I'm more narcissistic since the narcissistic abuse, and more psychopathic since the narcissistic abuse, because I have to reflect these energies back. I did not stand in front of cameras speaking and posing like a fucking retard before. So I'm just kidding. This is not real. This is not real narcissism. This is maybe unreal narcissism. It's narcissistic, healthy narcissism, of course. I mean, I'm so grandiose. The narcissism in me must be healthy, right? Yeah, just kidding. The video is over. See you in the next video. And sorry to be so narcissistic.